Hello and welcome to the Goalpost Podcast, episode number 2. And this week we'll be discussing Derby weekend in the Premier League. Joined again with Darius and Lee. Right, guys?
You're right.
If you haven't seen it already, our first episode went out earlier this week. A bit delayed, unfortunately, but it's out there. So please give that a watch. Like if you enjoyed content and subscribe if you're new around here. So yes, lads, should we get straight into it? So first game of the Premier League this weekend, probably the best derby in the Premier League, and that is the North London derby. It's the first game. Lee, I know you looked a bit shocked when I said best derby. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's always a cracking game. Arsenal Tottenham. There's always quite a few goals. I think I saw, Tottenham have scored in the last, I can't remember, 8 or 9 derbies. So there's going to be goals going in, and it's always a bit feisty. So I'm quite looking forward to it on the early kickoff.
Darius?
Yeah. No, it's always a good game. North London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham. I think that it will be even more of an important fixture this season at this moment in time because of how well both teams are doing, or at least that they're quite high up the table, both of them. So I think it's first versus third. Should be very interesting to see what happens. But yeah, North London derby always ends up being a good game to watch.
We might have to redo that. I'm pissed about with that.
Huh?
We're going to have to redo that.
We're recording.
Oh, no, we're going to have to redo it. We're just going to have to cut that bit out. Right. Sorry. I do apologise. I tried doing something and it put us on seats. It said together mode and I didn't know what that was. And then it looked like in the fucking cinema. That's why Darius was talking as well.
Will.
Right, we'll go again. Thing is, because I'm really small, like I'm not in a box. Do you know what I mean?
I've no idea what you mean.
Can't you just move your like
this? I'll take a picture and show it to you. Hey. Into Harry's.
You're fine.
But
it's the exact same as me.
Yeah, no, but think because I'm recording it, I won't be big.
It records whoever is speaking at the time.
Oh,
you see the purple box around someone's head? That's who's in the front.
Right, okay, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry about that. The more you know. Knowledge is power.
Well,
we'll do that again.
Is that you doing the intro again? Second time?
Yeah, I'll do everything again. Sorry about that, guys. Right, yeah, turn that off. Good. Right, alright.
How do I turn that off? Can I do that? Oh, you'd be right. No one's tasting me.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Goalpost Podcast, episode number 2. This week we'll be discussing the Premier League fixtures and we're calling it Derby Weekend. If you haven't seen already, our first episode was out earlier this week. It was a bit delayed. We do apologise for that. But if you can go ahead and watch it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new as well. And yeah, hope you enjoy this episode. Let's get straight into it. The first game of this weekend is the best derby of the Premier League fixtures, the North London derby. Lee, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, Arsenal Tottenham. It's always a good game. There's always lots of goals going in. I think I heard a stat on TalkSport this morning when I was listening to it that Tottenham have only failed to score in one derby since 2014. So there's always goals. They've got 2 of the best strikers in the Premier League. and I'm definitely looking forward to it. It should be a good game to start the weekend.
Darius, do you want to?
Yeah, I think it'll be a really interesting game. The North London derby it's always quite a feisty affair between both teams. The rivalry, especially with it being quite an important game this season. Arsenal are in first currently, Tottenham third. Both quite high up the table, so it'll be an interesting game. First game of the weekend. Great way to kick it back off again. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, as you said, Darius, Arsenal were top at the minute. They've won 6, lost 1. Yeah, they're in great form, aren't they? Really. And obviously Spurs, like you said, they're in third. They've won 5, drawn 2, haven't lost a game yet. So it would be an interesting fixture to look at. I think from a personal point of view, I think this derby feels more intense. I say that the one at the back end of last season was quite intense, battling for top 4. But this one, because Arsenal were on the rise again, and over previous seasons they were on a massive decline, and obviously Tottenham were on the rise, and I felt like that a Tottenham Chelsea game was more feisty and fierce than a North London derby, which is weird to say, I think. But obviously, Darius, you're a Chelsea fan,
Yeah.
so would you sort of agree with that comment or not?
What in terms of what were you saying?
Sorry, Tottenham Chelsea seemed like more of a fierce rivalry in recent years than Arsenal Tottenham did, because Arsenal were on the decline, but now they're on the up. It seems more.
I think Arsenal Tottenham probably will always be sort of the more rivaled game because it's between both North London teams. I think the reason why over recent years it probably has been Tottenham and Chelsea having them more sort of better games, I'd say, because of them both teams doing like better in the league over recent years than Arsenal. And I think that there have been close games between Chelsea and Tottenham. I mean, this one at Stamford Bridge this season was a real good game to watch for the neutral, especially. But I mean, yeah, Arsenal have brought themselves back into a really good position, made some great signings, and I think that they'll be in a great position this season. But that game will be an interesting one. I think that it will be a tough game between both teams, but I can see Arsenal. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just going off on a tangent. I don't know what I'm saying.
We'll edit it out. It's fine. Lee, obviously Arsenal are top. They've poached some of your reserve players from City. How does it feel to see those players doing well, like Jesus and Zinchenko?
I'm really happy for them, actually. I really like Jesus and Zinchenko, especially Zinchenko. He was a bit of a cult hero, We signed him for, what was it, £1.5 million, and he turned out to be probably our best left back for the past few years. And he just does anything he can for the team, and he always puts in 100%, and he's very technically gifted, more than a lot of people give him credit for. And then on the other hand, Jesus, everyone knew his quality. He always seemed to be a big game player for Man City, but he never really, it was funny because towards the end of the season, he put together a run of form, but he was a bit inconsistent sometimes, and sometimes it was the reason he didn't get the goals is because he dropped too far deep into the midfield. But at Arsenal, he seems to be leading that line very well, and being the main man seems to be really helping him.
Obviously, they haven't just taken two of your lesser players, shall we say, but they also took your coach a few years ago to become their manager in Arteta. Are you surprised in how well he's doing at Arsenal at the minute now, or not?
Yeah, I think everyone's a bit surprised by how well he's doing, because you've seen that former Premier League midfielders don't make the best managers. Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, they're not overly good, but they're not anything special. But Arteta has really turned it around at Arsenal after after the stint that Emery had. He had a tough job and he found it tough for the first few years, but they've stuck with him. And now you can clearly see they're on the up. And a lot of City players have said that he really helped them in training and to improve the game. And he's probably the reason why Jesus and Zinchenko signed for Arsenal when they're playing for Man City.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I was shocked at how well they've done this season. Obviously, they had a bit of a collapse at the back end of last season, but you'd expect that with a young team they have. I think Arteta's done the right thing at bringing in youth in, because he can be the main vocal point. You haven't got a lot of older leaders in that squad. You had Aubameyang, and he got rid of him because he was a bad influence on the younger players there, and I think that was a big call. And he got it spot on. Well, I say he's got it spot on, but they missed out on Champions League, so weigh it up. If we're looking at goal scorers, Harry Kane is second top goal scorer in the season in the Premier League with 6 goals. He is also for all-time top goal scorer in this fixture. What role do you think he'll have to play in this game?
Well, it's a North London derby, so Harry Kane usually scores. I think it's 11, is it? If I remember correctly, he's got
13, I think.
13, sorry. But yeah, he loves his fixture, doesn't he? And you've got to think he's going to be one of the favourites to. If Spurs are going to win the game, he's probably going to be a big part of it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Kane is a must-have for Spurs in that game. He's one of the best strikers in the world, if not the best striker in the world. And his goal-scoring record is proven in the fixture. And he's a very key player to that Tottenham team. And yeah, should be interesting to see what happens.
Do you know, I think one of the greatest North London derby goals was when I think, do you remember that season when Tottenham had like the seatbelt on their kit, the black strip, and Kane was wearing like a I think it's when Leicester won the league, because they said they all crashed in burnt. Yeah. Oh, the face mask moment, honestly. John Mertesacker bent it in past Ospina. That is, and oh, it was so great. It was such a great goal. The passion in him there, like, obviously he's matured a bit now, but I wish I could see that from him again. Just it's such great. For an English player as well to do that in North London derby, brilliant, fantastic. As you said, Lee, another player in form is Jesus. 4 goals this season. Do you reckon he can bag a goal in this game or not?
Yeah, I think he can. He was always, when he played at Man City, that was the thing about Jesus. He was always a big game player. Turned up in the big moments, knew where the net was when we needed to find it in the big games. And so far for Arsenal, he's just been the centre of everything. Him and Martinelli and Saka have all been linking up really well, and Odegaard as well as kind of like a front four. And yeah, I think definitely he will score this weekend. Yeah.
Obviously, there's issues going on with Thomas Partey at the minute. Darius, how big of a miss do you reckon he'll be for Arsenal this weekend?
He's been one of the players that Arsenal fans have said this season has been really key to them, the way that they play. I mean, I think Granit Xhaka has had a very good season so far, so I think that there'll be more of a confidence from the Arsenal fans in him, because he'll have to sort of step up in that role. But when you look at a sort of defensive midfielder, because Arsenal like to play with sort of the 2 holding midfielders in Partey and Xhaka, Partey is a really important player in that team. And yeah, it'll be a big miss not having him involved. But I'm sure Arsenal will be well equipped to get a result if they can.
Another injury concern, but this time for Tottenham. I've read today this morning that Kulusevski is 50-50 on playing. He's pulled up with a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
like how big of a miss will he be for Tottenham? Obviously, they've got Richarlison now, but as a right winger, surely there's no better than Kulusevski for
Yeah,
Tottenham anyway.
yeah. I'll admit when he came to the Premier League, I didn't know much about him, but in the time that he's been at Tottenham, he's been excellent. He's got an absolute wand of a left foot. He can score, he can assist, and he really complements Son and Kane very well. So definitely going to be a big miss.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to see if Richarlison starts.
Mm.
I mean, do you know what? I could see him getting sent off. If he starts, I could see him getting sent off.
Yeah,
Richarlison, honestly, it's something he would do.
but then
Something he would do.
then I can also see him having a really good game because
Yeah.
I actually think Richarlison has been really good for Tottenham this season. I mean, his work rate on the ball and off it has been really, really good. And he's been contributing in all competitions so far for them. And yeah, he's been a really good signing for them. They needed someone as sort of a backup that could take the load off of Kane and Son. And yeah, he's really, really good. He started the season off well, and he might get a game. He might play if Kulusevski is not fully fit.
Obviously in the summer they signed Richarlison, Tottenham 60 million.
Mm.
However, your team Darius Chelsea put in a late bid for him. You've just said how well he's done at Tottenham so far. Do you think your team is missing a player like Richarlison?
I mean, yes, I would say that we are. I mean, he's quite a versatile player that he can play as a striker. He can play off the wing. I think we similarly have a player like that in Aubameyang at the moment who can do the same thing, play as a striker, play on the left. I would have. It's different with Chelsea because when we were having Werner play, we were playing better with him than with Lukaku. We sort of in that Tuchel system played better with sort of inverted forwards and sort of having wingers play up front better than a proper centre forward striker, that sort of number 9. I mean, I was quite glad that we didn't sign Richarlison because I'm not really a big fan of him. I don't really like the guy personally. But
Do you know him personally?
I see the
Get him on the pod, mate.
No, I just see the antics of the way that he is on the pitch, and I don't really like the guy, but I think that he's been a great signing for Tottenham. We struggle for goals. I think Sterling's been good for us so far, and hope that continues. But we'll have to wait and see how obviously Potter does with Chelsea because the system's going to obviously change, and we need people to step up in the attack. So yeah, I'll have to wait and see on that. I'm not too sure how it is, but yeah.
Going back to Arsenal's front three then, with Martinelli and Saka, both have been in great form. Saka is second in the assist charts with four assists this season. Obviously playing against the back five. Do you reckon he'll have a more difficult game this week, or do you reckon he can get the best of Emerson Royale as if he starts? I mean Emerson, not Saka. Saka will start.
Yeah. Well, Emerson, I don't think he's particularly up to much, if I'm being honest, at right back. I'm not his biggest fan. But you saw the way that Bukayo Saka came on against Germany in the England game. He completely changed the game, driving at the defence. And if he can get at Emerson Royale like that, I think he'll have him all day long.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Lee, the way he come on against Germany, it was fantastic to watch for such a young age as well. But someone who's going under the radar is Martinelli. I think personally this season, he's been, getting goals, getting assists, also at a very young age. A lot of people throw around generational talent a lot. Do you reckon he could reach that level of like a generational talent or not? That's a question to both of you.
I think he's a very good footballer. There's no denying that. But will he be one of the best of this generation? I think he'll be a quite good winger. And that's about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think he is a good footballer. I think he'll contribute. You know, he'll get goals, he'll get assists, like you said. But yeah, generational talent level. Yeah, I don't think he's there or at that point yet. Or you know, I don't think he has been. But you know, he is a good player. He really does what you need him to do. You know, and he's been good this season. So. Yeah, but I don't think he's generational.
I don't know, because I don't know. In a few years' time, I could see one of the Spanish giants putting in a very big bid for Martinelli.
I, I would say if you were going to go off more generational or someone in that Arsenal team that's like that, you'd probably look at Saliba being more likely that type of player because, you know, in Ligue 1 last season, he was the best young player. He won that award and he's come in the Premier League and he's been very solid, very, very good. Defensively, looks like he's like really comfortable at the back in the Premier League, completely different league to the French league. He's settled in really well. And he looks like a player, Will, that I think that, you know, you could see a Real Madrid, you know, come for in the next 3 years potentially for a big transfer fee.
I mean, you say he's been good, and he has been good. He's been scoring goals as well from centre half, which is also a bonus.
Yeah.
But he hasn't really come up against a proper nine, a proper striker yet, has he?
No.
And I think playing against Kane, it'll be his biggest test this season. And if he does well, he does well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he does need a good game. Obviously, Arsenal at home at the Emirates, which is another boost for him. But yeah, like I said, they haven't really come up against a proper striker yet. And Kane is that striker. You could say Son is as well.
Be a good test for him then.
Yeah, it will be a good test for him and Gabriel as well.
Yeah.
I think. And do you know what? Ben White at right back as well. If he's going to play at right back, he's going to have a difficult time against Son. But they've all done well so far this season. But like we said, they haven't really played anyone of note. And when they have in United,
Yeah.
they lost.
That didn't end up too well for them, no.
No. Another big player for Tottenham. I say big player. He's 30 odd years old. He signed this summer on a free from Inter Milan. Ivan Perisic. What do we make to his start so far in the Premier League? He's got 3 assists already this season. Do we think he's been a good acquisition for Conte's side?
Well, definitely he's on a free transfer, isn't he? He's worked with Conte before, so yeah, he's been a good addition. He's a bit on the older side, but sometimes I don't think that really matters. Like he's obviously put in the performances already this season, so yeah, it's been a good signing so far.
I think he's a good mentor. I think I mentioned this in the last episode, but I think he's been a good mentor for Sessegnon as well, which is a bonus for the national team for England, for him to learn under Perisic and Conte. But yeah, I've been impressed with Perisic. Considering his age, he's in really good fit physical condition. Yeah, it's been great. He's not they're not relying on Son for set pieces anymore either. It's all Perisic has been taking them. So yeah, it's been a decent signing. I don't know about you lads, but what are your predictions for this game?
I've got written down here 3-1 to Arsenal. I think
Really?
Arsenal have been very good this season, especially at home. They've won every game at home so far this season, and Tottenham so far away, for as good as the start has been, Tottenham have played 4 games away in all competitions. They've only beaten Nottingham Forest. They've drawn with West Ham, drawn with Chelsea, and lost to Sporting Lisbon. So for me, they've not been the best away, and they don't tend to fare well at Arsenal. But I think they will get a goal because there's always goals in the game. But overall, I think home advantage will give Arsenal 3-1 win.
Darius, what's your
Well, so far on this podcast, I've been a bit boring. Went with a draw for the England-Italy game. Didn't get that right. Then went for a draw again. the Germany game. Did get that one right though, so I'll take that. But I'm going to go for a draw again. I can see this being 2-2, just like the Chelsea game, Chelsea-Tottenham. I think Arsenal will have the advantage at being at home, and they always seem to turn up and play better than Tottenham when they are at home in that derby game. But I can see Tottenham coming back from being maybe a goal down, 2 goals down, coming back to get something from it, because even though they haven't played that well necessarily this season in fixtures, they have got results out of games. And when you've got Richarlison playing well, you've got Kane and Son, world-class players, they can always turn up in that moment and get you something. So I can see Tottenham getting something out of the game.
Darius, mate, I bet you never thought you'd hear these words come out of my mouth, but I'm agreeing with you here, son.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2 as well. I reckon Arsenal will go 1 up, and Spurs will get two on them, and then fucking Richarlison will get sent off, and then they'll get a late VAR penalty and score it. We've got another important player might be missing for Tottenham, Lloris. I mean, any thoughts on that quickly? I forgot about that. He picked up an injury for France.
Oh, did he? I did not
He
know
did.
that.
Oh,
So yeah, that might be interesting.
Who would be
In goal.
Fraser Forster.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think he's a bad goalkeeper. He's a good second choice option, but
He's no
yeah.
Lloris though, is he?
No, but then to be honest with you, I think Lloris has had a decent season this season so far. I don't think he is like a really, really good goalkeeper. I think he is it's a decent goalkeeper. I don't think he's really good, but yeah, he could be a big miss for them. He's one of the leaders in the team, so but I have to wait and see whether he is fit or not.
Does that alter your predictions? I mean, Lee, you already predicted an Arsenal win, so Darius sticking with 2.
Yeah, I'm going with 2.
All right, yeah, same. Right, clip this up though. Clip this up. Ready for socials. Arsenal to go 1 up. Tottenham to go 2-1. Richarlison to get sent off. Late VAR penalty for Arsenal. They score it. It'll be 2. Hit that up for the socials. Mystic fucking Mac here. Tell you. Should we do a combined 11 lads?
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Who wants to go first and read their team out? Or should we just do it by positions and then?
Yeah, if we do it by positions,
do
and
it by
then we get
positions,
a group.
Yeah. So I've gone with Lloris in goal. I don't know about you two. You've gone for Ramsdale.
With Ramsdale, yeah.
I've gone for Aaron Ramsdale as well.
No, I have.
That's poor. That is poor.
You know, I will.
Poor. That is poor from you two. That is poor.
Why is it? Why is it poor? I think Ramsdale has been very good so far, just like the other Arsenal players. He's kept a few clean sheets. He's been solid for them. Lloris has made some great saves. Tottenham have been able to get back into games and get something, points out of games when they haven't really been that impressive. But I think Ramsdale has been better this season so far. More comfortable.
You must agree.
I agree. Yeah. The thing with Lloris, I always think he'll make a world class save 1 minute and then he'll chuck a cross in his own net the next. I'm not his biggest fan. He always seems to make high profile mistakes.
Well, Ramsdale's in our joint team then. I've buggered that up, haven't I? Should we go right back then? I'll take we're going 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Lee, I've gone for your favourite right back of the Premier League, Emerson.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've not.
Surprised.
Darius? Ben White.
I've gone with Ben White as well.
Oh, fucking hell.
But I mean, Emerson. I've heard Tottenham fans say it. Tottenham fans think he's one of the worst right backs they've ever seen. Wing backs, right back, whatever you want to call him. He's not. What does he really do that's great, really, in terms of on the football? Ben White is a centre back, a natural centre back. He's come into that role at right back because of Tomiyasu. and he's played well. He's played decently well for a centre back at right back. It's not his natural position, and he's been better at right back than Emerson, I think's been for Tottenham at right wing back or right back the whole entire time he's played for them. So I think it's quite easy, Will.
Lee, I'm gonna say this. Did Darius hit the nail on the head there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. All right. I think we've got the same centre back here. Saliba.
Yeah.
Saliba. Yeah. Hey, we've got one. Way.
Will's
Right.
got one.
Yeah. I've gone for Dyer next to him. I don't know about you two.
I've gone for Christian Romero.
I've also got for Christian Romero.
To be honest, I forgot about him. Yeah.
I think you could argue Dyer because he has played all the games for Tottenham this season, and I think Christian Romero has been injured for a couple of them.
Yeah.
So he hasn't played all the games, but Dyer's been solid so far for Tottenham. But yeah, Christian Romero he's one of the best centre backs I think in the league. He's very good, very aggressive. You know, I think he definitely is in that team combined 11.
Yeah, I can back that, Lee. Take it you're the same, mate.
Yeah, he's a very combative defender. He's very good, very aggressive. He's a bit like Nicholas Otamendi in that kind of sense, and I quite like that in a defender.
Left back, and I know I rave about him all the time, and it's Sessegnon, but I haven't picked him. I've got, and I know this player's injured, but I've gone for him anyway. Zinchenko. I don't know about you two. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
Got to be.
So I've gone for a holding midfielder, and then like two, whatever. Yeah. So my holding is Højbjerg. Now, what are you two going to say? Fucking Thomas Partey or Xhaka? If you say Xhaka, you're going to get a right fucking hurt.
Thomas Partey for me. I think Højbjerg is a good player, but I think Thomas Partey's got that something a bit extra on him. He can protect the defence, he can ping a ball, and I think he's been integral to Arsenal's success so far this season. And I think if he's not playing on Sunday, they might have a big problem. Saturday, they might have a big problem.
Will, you're going to be shocked. I've agreed with you.
My guy.
I've got Højbjerg. I wrote down Højbjerg just because, in terms of form this season, what I was basing it off, I think Højbjerg has been pretty decent for Tottenham so far. I expected, to be honest with you, I really expected Basuma to be in that role by now and playing in that Tottenham team and sitting where, Højbjerg is playing. But no, Højbjerg has taken that position so far, and he's sort of made it his own, really. And I think it's been solid so far. Yeah, I mean, I think Partey is a very good player, like you said, Lee, and Arsenal may have a problem without him. But Will, you'll be happy to know, yeah, I've gone with Højbjerg.
My guy. I'm glad me and you can agree on something there, actually. No, Lee, like you're saying, I think Højbjerg does exactly what Partey does. He's fantastic. He's a Danish warrior, and he, like Jose saw it, he brought him in, and then hasn't looked back since. If we go to next centre mid, or should we say a bit further up, centre mid, I'm going to say Ødegaard. I hope both of you have got Ødegaard in as well.
I've got Martin Ødegaard.
Yeah. Lee, do you want to discuss Ødegaard and his form?
I mean, he's got a wonderful left foot. He's a bit like he's a traditional number 10. He can create the goals. He can score the goals. He's working really well with that front three that they've got. And yeah, he's still only young. I think we forget because he came onto the scene so early. How old is he? 23.
Yeah, I think so.
So he's got a lot more to give, and he's already club captain as well. So he's got that leadership. He's a fantastic player.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, Lee. If we move over to the other centre mid position, I've gone with Højbjerg's partner, Bentancur. I don't know about you two.
I've got Rodrigo Bentancur.
Me and my guy Lee, bro. Me and my guy. What about you, Darius?
I went with Granit Xhaka.
Oh.
No, No, I did. No, I went with no. You can say that it's. You can say that that's. You can say whatever you want, Will, but
Just leave the call, mate. You get
No.
kicked off the pod.
I think this season he's been. No, I think he's been really good so far for Arsenal. A lot of Arsenal fans have said that he's been a real standout player for them. He's stepped up.
Yeah, stand out because he usually shows fucking shit.
No, he's not usually the best player, and he does make rash, decisions in games. He gets himself sent off quite a lot, but this season, he's not really put a foot wrong so far. So it'll be interesting to see with the sort of height, the sort of intensity of the game at the weekend in that derby, if he'll keep his cool, if he, plays the way that he's been playing this season. But yeah, I put him in because I think he's been really good.
All I'm saying is your midfield is slow as fuck, Darius. Fuck me.
No, I know it is.
Fucking Højbjerg and fucking Xhaka.
I've got like Højbjerg and Xhaka as two holding midfield.
Oh, okay.
Odegaard just ahead in like an attacking midfield position. So it sort of balances itself out when you look at it like that.
So you're playing a back six then, is what you're saying.
Proper. Well, Tottenham already play a back five, so
Yeah. May as well make it a six.
Yeah, no problem, mate. Adding another defending player in there.
If we go to the left wing, I hope this is the same for everyone. Sonaldo.
Heung-min Son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darius.
I didn't put Son.
Ah,
No, I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh my God.
No. Before we started recording, right, people that are listening to this, I said before we started recording, are we basing the combined 11 off current form or off of the quality of the player? If it's off the quality of the player, then it's Son. Son goes there straight the way. But I admit Son got a hat-trick last time round against Leicester. Very good performance coming off the bench. But apart from that this season, he hasn't really been that good. And
he has. He's just hit the woodwork so many times.
Richarlison has been more prolific, I think, in front of goal in all competitions this season than Son, apart from that game against Leicester, where Son really was very good and showed why he is a world-class player. So if you're going, like I said, you're going off the quality of the player, Son is world-class, he gets in at left wing. But I went off it based on form. I think Richarlison would be there over him, just because of how he's playing at the moment.
You picked Richarlison? You didn't even pick Martinelli?
No, I picked Richarlison. I can't believe you're actually that shocked by it. Seriously, no, I picked Richarlison. I wrote down what I wrote down. If it was based on the quality of player, like I said, Son, but I wrote down Richarlison on terms of form.
Here's another thing. When Darius asked the question, is it based on form or quality of the player? Lee said a bit of both. I said a bit of both, and Darius said, yeah, a bit of both.
Yeah,
Son's just bagged a hat trick and scored 2 international goals.
Yeah, I understand that. I do understand that, but I think across the whole season so far, the 7 or whatever Premier League games we've played so far, I think Richarlison's been better. Right. So I've got him in. That's the shock one. But
that is a shock one.
You've got to sometimes go with what you think, and I'd have him in.
Right, so Son's in anyway. I shouldn't be reacting like this, but
it doesn't matter anyway, you two, because you went.
Me and Lee are on sync.
I agree. Fine, you've got Son in, yes, but
right.
Hey, don't matter.
Striker. I hope we're all agreed on this one as well. Big Hazard Kane.
Yeah, it's got to be Harry Kane. Jesus is very unlucky.
I went with Nketiah. No, I went with Kane. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. No more said. We've spoken enough about him. Last position, right wing. This is my shock factor because I haven't gone for the Arsenal lad. I've gone for Kulusevski.
Yeah, so have I. So that's shocking. Good point.
I went with Jesus, but I stuck him out.
Yeah, I thought about that
because Jesus can play on the right. He's played a lot for City out on the right wing. He does drift off to the right hand side, especially for Arsenal. I think Saka's been very good this season so far. I can see why you've said Kulusevski because he has been very good for Tottenham, but I put Jesus at right wing because I think he's been better than both of them. But you went as a natural right winger, that's fine with Kulusevski, but I thought I'd be a bit different. I thought I had to get Jesus in there somewhere because he is a real quality.
Yeah, I thought he was unlucky.
I get that. But okay, I've had my hissy fits. Oh wait,
you might have some more when it comes to the next combined 11 we do.
Just quickly, if we're going to pick a manager, I think we're going to pick Conte.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Conte clear.
So our combined North London derby team is Ramsdale in goal. Right back Ben White. Centre back Saliba or Saliba. Next centre back Romero. Left back Zinchenko. DM Højbjerg. Centre mid Erdegaard. Centre mid Bentancur. Right wing Kulusevski. Striker Big Hazard Kane.
Yeah.
And on the left wing Sonaldo. Right, so that's the first big derby out the way with. I'm going to take a little break. Here's a word from our sponsors. Hello and welcome back to the Goalpost Podcast, episode number 2. We've just had a word from our sponsors. Again, they're not sponsoring this week, so we have to do it over Microsoft Teams instead of in the studio. Bloody bastards. Right. Obviously, we've just spoke in depth about the North London derby. Shall we go into the other big derby this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
The Manchester derby. Lee, you're grinning, you're licking your lips, mate. Do you want to take us away?
Well, it's the Manchester derby, isn't it? It's usually quite a good game. Usually favours the away team actually, which is not good look for Sunday. But no, it should be a cracking game. United are looking decent under Ten Hag. They've won the last few in the Premier League, last 4 in the Premier League after a disastrous start. And yeah, City are at home again. We've won all our home games so far this season, and I can't wait to get there. And it's always a tough one to predict.
Save your predictions. We'll get them at the end. Darius, do you want to talk us a little bit through the Manchester derby? Obviously, we heard from the City fan. City.
No, as a neutral, it's a good game. I think that most people will have City as their favourites this weekend, obviously, because it looks as if City are on for another Premier League title if they keep up the form that they're going on, and I think that United have been all right over the past couple of games. I think their start was quite shocking. Didn't think they would have. I didn't think they'd have a great start, but I didn't think they'd be losing 4-0 to Brentford. But they've sort of picked it up from there. Got some good wins against Southampton and Liverpool and Arsenal. So they've done well. And like Lee said, it can favour the away team. We have seen how United have come back in the past and got a result and even won at the City ground, at the Etihad. But it'll be very tough for United this weekend. I can see City having a very sort of dominant display in terms of possession. But who knows? It's one of them games that can come up with anything, surprises and all of that. So, and Haaland as well will be a big key player in that game, and see how many he can bag.
He took the I was going to say, shall we talk about the big Norwegian elephant in the room? And it's going to be, obviously, he's not an elephant, but like that's the saying. Obviously, you mentioned him there, big boy Haaland.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I can see him making Martinez his bitch. You know, honestly, it's going to happen. And at what is he? 5'9"?
Yeah,
Martinez.
5'8".
5'7".
Basically 6 foot. Then that's what I say. Nah, no, I think Martinez is going to struggle this weekend defending against Haaland. Like Lee, honestly, different player. I mean, you've seen him live. What sort of presence does he have in the stadium?
He just has this, like we were saying it was a game against Crystal Palace. It was in the first half. We're like, he hasn't touched it really. And then just the second half came around and he still didn't really touch it. But every time he did touch it, tapped it in the back of the net. And it's like when he scored the hat trick against Notts Forest as well, he's just there just to put it in there, and he just pops up anywhere to score the goal. That goal against Dortmund where he's flying through the air, like no one else in world football scores that. He's a big 6'5", lanky as fuck, quick as fuck, and he's just an absolute man machine that just knows where to be and when to be there. And Martinez is, you saw Martinez struggle against Danny Welbeck and Ivan Toney. So you'd think he might struggle a bit this weekend.
Or die.
I wouldn't want to be in his position. Yeah, I mean, what else can you say about Haaland? He's fucking 11 goals, man. Like, what a bot.
I mean, I don't know whether this is mad to say, but I still don't even think he's been as good as what he can be from so far this season. Like, he is a very good player, and I think he's one of the best strikers in the world. Certainly one of the best young talents in the world. And with 11 goals so far, he's tearing up the Prem, for sure. But I still think that like he hasn't reached that level yet, even though he's been a level above everybody else so far. The scary thing is I think he can go even levels higher than what he's been at, which is even more scary for all the other defensive teams out there, defenders as well, because he must put nightmares, for.
I'll tell you what, it'll be interesting to see. I know obviously he's, what is he, 21? 22? 22. It'll be interesting to see in like 3 to 4 years' time when he starts slowing down a bit, because when Kane first came onto the scene, he was quite quick. Kane, he was a stocky lad, but he was quite quick. Yeah. And obviously he slowed down and now he's a brilliant link-up playmaker. It'd be interesting to see if Haaland adapts to that. And obviously learning under Pep, you'd hope to think he would. But the way he's going at the minute, fuck the passing, just get him in the box and he's fucking scoring, and it's great to see. There was question marks around what Pep would do with him, wasn't there? I think at the beginning of the season, whether he'd change his style or what. I think he's had to adapt to accommodate Haaland, and obviously that's what he's done, and he's reaping the rewards, isn't he? We can't leave. I mean, when we mention Haaland, we've got to mention KDB, Big De Bruyne as well. 6 assists this season already. Do we reckon he can break the, what is it, 20 assists?
20 assists.
Do you reckon he can beat that?
Well, he should have beaten 1920.
He should, yes.
But they gave a goal that got deflected pass that got slightly deflected offline, and they didn't give it to him. But yeah, you've got to think he's got to be up there to get it. He's already got 6 assists so far in the first 7 games. And he is, for me, it was David Silva, but he's now, I think, the best player I've ever seen in a Man City shirt. He's like Yaya Toure and David Silva put together. He's got the pace, he's got the power, he's got the finishing, he's got the passing. He can do anything with his right, he can do anything with his left. He's just absolutely, it is magical to see him play football.
Honestly, so yeah, like I said, he's so good. And he was once, we keep on bringing Chelsea into these derby conversations.
I knew you were going to do it. I knew you were going to do it, because I was just going to say it, if only we kept him at Chelsea.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say it, Will.
What are you on about? You would have left with Hazard to go to Madrid. You wouldn't have stayed at your club. He loves it at City. City. Obviously Cancelo as well. Cancelo's been in great form again this season, playing at left back. Lee, you mentioned Haaland's goal against Dortmund. That assist with the outside of the foot.
It's becoming his trademark.
Actually is.
Cancelo, the outside of the boot cross.
I need to start calling him
unbelievable.
João Ricardo Quaresma Cancelo. Something about the Portuguese, man. Obviously Rodri as well. Another, what can you say about Rodri? Is effortless, man. When Busquets goes from Barcelona, I think that's the player they need to look at, whether he'll leave City or not, and whether Barcelona can afford him. But it is so good, Rodri. So good.
Potentially this weekend, you've got the two best defensive midfielders in the world coming up against each other in Rodri and Casemiro.
I thought he was going to say McTominay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that stupid, Will.
Clickbait at its finest. Yeah. I would have loved it. I would have loved it if you did. But
yeah, Rodri, unbelievable footballer. But Casemiro, maybe does he get a start against City? He's sort of relatively new to the Premier League, and he's had such a great career at Real Madrid, and hopefully he can emulate it at United, and it'll be interesting to see how that battle goes in midfield.
I guess it is a good time to move on to the other half of Manchester, or shall I say London? That's a joke. Because anyway, yeah, like you said, Casemiro, he hasn't started when they've won the games yet. Do you reckon this will be a good opportunity for him to start? I mean, he's played against City before, obviously in the Champions League, and he's done well against them. No. Is it a good time to place him in? Do you reckon?
Well, he's got to start him at some point, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You got to think he's been here for a month now.
Paid a big fee for him. Was it like 70 million altogether?
Yeah, you can't just not keep starting him. Like, he's probably, unless he's doing something very wrong in training, I presume he'll start getting into the first 11 in the coming weeks, definitely.
What's been their midfield three recently? It's been McTominay, Fernandes, and Eriksen, hasn't it?
Yes.
Fucking been off McTominay, mate. Fucking hell. And it surely just whacking Casemiro in now.
But Casemiro goes from that world-class trio of himself, Modric and Kroos, and comes to United, and he's
benched by McTominay.
He's got McTominay and Fred, who are clearly better players. So he should be. He should be all right. He should be.
Nah, let's I feel bad. I shouldn't be disrespecting Scott the Block like that. Obviously, bit of change up top for Man United this year. Obviously, last year they had big boy Ronaldo up there. This year they're going with Rashford. He's got 3 goals so far this season with 2 assists. Is this a resurgence for him, do you reckon, or not? Or do you think it's just been a blip and then he's going to go back to his old self of not fucking scoring and not putting the effort in and just being a lazy cunt? I can't say that. I need to edit that out.
Well, when he's played this season, he has played very well. If you just get him to run in behind all day, I think he's a pretty good player. Get him to do much else, I don't think he's that up to much. But he is actually a doubt. I read that him and Martial have not trained, which is quite good because they usually turn up at the AF.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy about that. But yeah, so I don't really know who they're going to play up front.
Bruno Fernandes, false 9, probably.
Yeah, they'll probably have to start Ronaldo, and even that, I think they should be starting Ronaldo, United, but clearly there's something that's not right between him and Ten Hag in the relationship. So, but a world class player like Ronaldo should be playing in the big games. And it don't get much better for United playing against, Man City, a big rival. So if Rashford is and Martial are injury concerns for the weekend, he should definitely be starting.
Yeah, it's an interesting one for Ronaldo, isn't it? I read recently that the Portuguese media labelled his performance against Spain a disaster class. So it's interesting to see now the Portuguese media are going at him. Obviously, he had that black eye, was it a broken nose and a black eye against, was it Serbia? Czech Republic?
Yeah.
Czech Republic.
I think it might have just been a cut. I don't know whether he actually
yeah,
broke his
nose. He weren't wearing a mask or anything, so yeah, interesting to see what's happened with one of the greatest of all time, isn't it? Really. If he does start, he's got to start with Sancho. No, I mean Sancho's coming to life this season. As an ex-Man City academy player, Lee, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, he's definitely coming to life a bit more this season. Last season, he just wasn't very good. I don't think he was effective enough. But this season, he got his goal against Liverpool. He scored the winner against Leicester. He's definitely becoming the player that we all thought he could be. But I think he's still got a bit of a way to go to get there. But he's definitely playing better. He actually scored in this fixture last season at the Etihad to make it 1-1. So
Another interesting point is every game of round started this season, either for club or country, his team have come out on the winning side. Obviously, like I said, it's going to be a big test for Martinez against Haaland. It's going to be a big test for Varane as well. How do we reckon that partnership is going to go right together? Do you reckon it's going to be a good partnership against Haaland, or is Haaland just going to fucking?
Well, I think it's better for United that they've got Varane and Martinez starting than Maguire being in there. Because I really would fear, if Maguire was starting up against Haaland, that'd be a shit show. And it would make Maguire look even worse than what he's been so far, and that's still not very good at all. But I think. Yeah, it might be a struggle for Martinez to mark him, certainly from set pieces. But I don't think Martinez will be put on Haaland. I think it'd be very stupid for them to do. I think Varane has been very good for United this season. He didn't really have a great season for them last season. It was sort of injury, problems and stuff like that. But he's a 4 or 5 time Champions League winner. He's been one of the best centre backs for a good number of years next to Ramos. So, it's different for him. It's a different league. Players can thrive in one league and, find it difficult in others. But I think, it'll be a big test for Varane at the weekend. But he's a good player.
Just another position, left back for Manchester United. Obviously, Luke Shaw scored at Wembley Monday. Was it Monday night? I think it was Monday night, wasn't
Monday,
it? Yeah. Obviously, the young lad, was it Malacia? Is that his name? Yeah. He's been doing well recently. He struggled a little bit against Arsenal, but they come out winners. Do you reckon Shaw's going to sneak into the starting 11 this weekend, or do you reckon Ten Hag's going to stick with Malacia?
I think he'll stick with Malacia personally. He signed him from the Dutch league, so he obviously knows him quite well. And I think he has played well when he has been put in the starting 11. And I don't think Shaw has done enough to displace him just with an international performance.
Yeah. I agree. I think they'll play Malacia. I think Malacia's been really good for United. So,
another new boy. Sorry to keep it on Manchester United. I do apologise, Lee, but that is Anthony. How do we reckon he'll do? It's his first. Well, no, he played against Arsenal, didn't he?
Scored.
Yeah, he scored. So first Manchester derby. Do you reckon he can handle the pressure? Handle the pressure on his debut away at the Etihad. Do you reckon he can handle it there?
Yeah, he probably can. He's a big money signing, and he's obviously shown that he's got the ability against Arsenal. It was quite a good finish. And yeah, it could be João Cancelo might have to take a bit more of kind of a back seat when going forward or trying to get forward, because he's as fast as lightning, so he's going to have to watch out for him.
Yeah. There was a player for City I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, I know who it was. What's happening with Mahrez this season, Lee?
Mahrez,
Yeah,
he's
what's
not
going
been
on there?
he's not been the same really so far this season. He's been a bit poor. He's every time he seems to start, he always seems to be a bit slow. He's not what he was last season at the moment. I don't know. It might be he's not used to. He always used to like doing the 1-2s with the whoever's playing false nine, and the false nine would come into midfield and he'd go into inside and hit it and whatever. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's struggling with the having to stick to his width a bit more. I don't know, but he's not been the same as he was last season. But I think he will get back to it because he's a quality footballer.
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to see, really. I mean, he should be used to playing with a proper number 9. He played with Vardy at Leicester, who was rapid. Obviously, Pep likes to fucking tiki-taka football, and I know under Ranieri, Leicester didn't do that. They were just fucking bombing down the wings. Yeah, it's just an interesting one to see Mahrez at the minute, the way he's dropped off. I mean, Darius, what are your thoughts on Mahrez this season?
Yeah, he's not
If
really.
you have any. Sorry.
He's not really been involved that much from what I've seen. It's been more Grealish and Foden that I've seen play more. But I think Mahrez is a class player. On his day he can have an effect on a game. He can change a game even. And look, we know how good Guardiola's starting 11 is. We know how good the bench is. So whether you're starting or you're on the bench for that City team, Guardiola's always got something up his sleeve that if something's not going right, he'll make the changes needed. Mahrez might not start at the weekend, but he can always come off the bench and provide something that City haven't got in the game. So yeah, he could be quite important for them if they're not already 3 or 4-0 ahead, which they probably will be. So
On that note, then, should we start doing our predictions for this game?
yeah.
I've gone for a 3-0 City win. I think Haaland's just going to fucking build him, if I'm being honest.
I've not gone that confident, to be honest. I think Haaland will score, maybe 1 or 2. But I think it'd be 2-2. I think United tend to play very well at the Etihad. They didn't last season. We beat them 4-1, but that was under a bit of a dishevelled Ragnick. And but the last few times, I think in 2021 they beat us at the Etihad. The season before that, they also beat us at the Etihad. I think, yeah. So it's the fixtures. It's funny, the Manchester derby. It always seems to favour whoever's away. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Well, I am, but not if it doesn't go well.
You got a ticket, by the way.
Yeah, I've got my season
you
card.
got. Love that.
I'll be
Love
there.
that,
Don't
man.
worry.
Yeah. Get the fucking live reactions for the pod, mate, for the clout. Hey, we sent our main man out to Manchester. Darius, what are your predictions, mate?
I've gone with 3-1.
3-1. You reckon United will score then?
Yeah, I think they will, but I could see Haaland getting a brace or even a hat-trick.
Yeah.
I think he'll probably get a brace and maybe a Foden or maybe even a De Bruyne goal or something like that will be in there. I think United may get a goal through Sancho or someone like that. So yeah, I think 3-1.
Right. On that note, should we do a joint 11 again for the Manchester derby, as we done one for the North London derby?
Yeah.
If we do it in the same format. Just before we start, I know every player in this team could be all Manchester City players, but I thought, it can't be a combined 11 and not have any Man United players in there. So if there are Man United players in there that you don't agree with, grow up. Right.
There's be some in there. Why would you call it a combined 11? There's no point, is it? Just may
literally
as well Man City starting 11.
Yeah.
So
so my goalkeeper, I've gone for De Gea.
No, you're taking the piss, Will.
I'm not. I'm not.
You're
Right.
taking the piss.
I'm not even Edison's biggest fan, but I've got you over there here.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? Yeah. I used to think Edison was the best keeper in the league. But back end of last season, every shot he was facing, it was going in.
He was the best keeper in the league, I'll give you that. In 18-19, 17, when he first came to the league, but
he's gone downhill. I don't know what the fuck's gone on with him.
I don't know, I think he's just bored sometimes and just can't be asked.
Yeah.
He's definitely the best distributing goalkeeper.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, by a mile.
But in terms of, I think the best overall goalkeeper in the league, Alisson is clear.
Yeah.
But Will, you've had a bit of a shocker there. Edison,
Roll up.
You've gone with De Gea.
I actually have.
Who's been poor for the past, I'd say, 2 years for United.
Who was their best player last year? Actually, minus Ronaldo.
But that says something when they're playing really bad in terms of their midfield and defence. And De Gea has to be the one that comes up with something, even though if you look for international and especially for United, he's been really poor. I don't know how you've gone with him over Edison.
Look, the way I see it, I have to get United players in there. And the one I could justify is De Gea going in over Edison. So that's why I've gone for him. But anyway, we're putting Edison in our team.
Yeah, Edison wins quite easily.
If we go to right back, I take it we've all got the same right back in Kyle Walker.
I've got Kyle Walker.
I actually went with Cancelo at right back. I know he's a left back. He can play. His natural position is right back, but I went with him at right back because
You've gone for someone else at left back.
I have someone at left back. Yes.
Ooh.
But it doesn't matter anyway because so.
Centre half. Another United player. I've gone for Varane.
I think.
I haven't got Varane in there.
He's gone for a full City team, hasn't he? Look at him. Look at him. Fucking bollocks.
I don't like Varane that much. I don't think he's... Ever since Gabriel Jesus made him look like a donkey a few years ago, he's nothing special.
No,
I
agree with you, Will. I've gone for Varane on that one.
Thanks, mate. I mean, like I said before, he started, they've won every game. Same for France. He's another one I could justify of being in there for a United player. Lee, who did you have? Laporte?
I do have Aymeric Laporte, yes.
Yeah, great.
He's been injured all season.
Bastard.
But he should be back at the start of this month. He probably won't start against United. It'll probably be a Kanji and Diaz. Or maybe a Kanji and Ake.
Kanji's
no, not a Kanji and Ake, surely.
Nathan Ake, oh my god, what a player. I love him. He was nearly in it.
What?
I love the man. Nathan Ake is so good. And
Bro, you can't.
No, I'd make a case for a Kanji. I think a Kanji player.
Kanji is
bro, all I'm saying is you can't chat shit about Martinez's height and then fucking love Ake. He's got like an inch above him.
Ake's 5'11". I love you know. That's 3 inches.
He's 5'10", ain't he?
Ake's 5'11", man.
Bollocks.
That makes him 6 foot.
Yeah. That's what I say as well. Hey, said it again.
My other centre half was Diaz.
Yes, same here.
I would go with Laporte if he was fit because I do think Laporte is Man City's best centre back. That's my opinion. I think he is Manchester City's best centre back, Laporte. But,
yeah, I thought Laporte was playing better before Diaz signed for City. If I'm being honest, he was French, wasn't he? And then he went Spanish.
Yeah, he's Spanish.
Yeah, he was France. He did play for France. Well,
Oh, well, he never played for him, that's why he
but yeah.
plays for Spain.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Laporte was, like I said, City's best centre back before Diaz come in, and then I don't know, the roles sort of slightly reversed. But yeah, I've gone Diaz as well. Left back, me and Lee have gone the same. Cancelo. So Darius, who have you gone at left back?
Malacia.
Oh,
Yeah, Malacia.
you're not like me having a stinker. You've put up.
No,
Man.
look. The difference between mine and yours is I've actually got I've got Cancelo in at right
Yeah.
back. So that
Yeah, but you've left Walker out.
But I don't actually like. Is Walker been playing that much? This
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
He hasn't he? Yeah.
Well, I went with Malacia because I actually think he's been really good for United this season, and he's been standing out in the games that United haven't really performed very well in, and then the games that they have done well in, he also has put in a real shift. He's got a lot of pace. I think he's defensively better than Luke Shaw. Yeah, I've put him in because I think he's been really good this season.
Fair point. But he's not in our team, is he?
No.
Way. I'm joking. I'm joking. So holding midfield, I've gone for Rodri. I hope you two have as well.
McTominay.
Rodri.
Rodri, easy.
Yeah.
The best.
To be honest, I thought you was going to say Casemiro, but then you said McTominay, and then
No, Rodri. Rodri is the best holding midfielder in the world, and
he's so good.
Quality. Certainly a player that I'd want from City. Definitely,
100%.
Easily.
Another easy one, KDB.
Yeah. Easy.
Easy. Had question marks over him. I thought him or Fred. No. Yeah, KDB's in, obviously. I've got another United player in midfield.
I could probably put one in there if I was supposed to.
I've gone Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, that'd be the one I'd have put in if I'd have put in a United player.
Darius is just.
No, I went with Bernardo Silva.
I mean,
I
yes.
went with Ilkay Gundogan, but.
I've got a freeway now. Oh, what are you gonna do?
I mean, I'd have Eriksen if I didn't have Gundogan.
You happy with that, Darius?
Oh, yeah, I don't mind. I'm neither City or United, so I'm not bothered. But
I mean, I'm going to make my case for Eriksen. I think when he was at Spurs, I think he was probably the most consistent number 10 in the league at that time. Maybe minus Özil for one season, but Eriksen was different gravy. So great, so great. And when Tottenham lost him, I think they struggled without him. I think Ali's form dropped off. Kane certainly did for a period under Pochettino, I think, and was it Jose as well? Oh no, not under Jose. Sorry, under Nuno. There's that gap, weren't there, between Jose getting sacked. Anyway, yeah, and I think that's why Kane's form dropped off because he didn't have Eriksen there. But yeah, Eriksen, maestro, midfield maestro. Yeah. But like I said, it could easily be a fucking City team. I'd put in Bernardo Silva or anyone, but I thought Eriksen. I think he's probably playing Man City's team. Shall we go striker? And
well, I think
that's the most nailed one.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
Martial.
I've gone Haaland as well, man. Obviously, man. Obviously.
Yeah.
If we go right wing, who have you guys gone for?
Well, that's where I've got Bernardo Silva.
Oh, should we put him in then?
He's played there a few times this season.
We'll put him in then. We'll put him in on the right.
I went with Foden on the right.
So do you have Foden on the left?
I've got Foden on the left, yeah.
We'll put Foden on the left then. There goes my fucking winners.
Who did you have?
I had Mahrez and Sancho.
Yeah, I can see that. Who did you have, Darius?
I had Foden and Rashford
Interesting.
because I think when like you said, Lee, when Rashford has played for United this season, he has been very good. He's scored a few goals, got a
But
couple
he's
of.
been playing as a 9 now, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, but he has been coming out like off from the left wing, where he usually plays on that left side. So I think Foden's been playing a lot this season as a right winger. So I would have put Foden on the right, and then because of Rashford being sort of cutting in and sort of being a striker this season, I'd have put him on the left because, well, no one's getting in over Haaland.
No.
So
So our combined 11 then. Edison in goal.
Yeah.
Cole Walker at right back.
Yeah.
Rafael Varane at centre back. Ruben Diaz at centre back. João Cancelo at left back. Rodri CDM. KDB centre mid. Christian Eriksen centre mid. Bernardo Silva on the right.
Yep.
Yeah, Haaland through the middle, and then Foden on the left.
Yeah.
Just before we end it, should we go through the other Premier League fixtures and just do a quick fire
Yeah, we can have a look.
results? I'll bring them up. I was saying. So we've done the Spurs and Arsenal one. Bournemouth, Brentford. Who are we saying there, lads?
Bournemouth. I'll go with Bournemouth.
I'll go Brentford 2-1.
I'll go for a draw. 1-1. Palace, Chelsea. What are we saying? First game for Potter in the Premier League.
Tough place to go.
It is.
Under Vieira, especially.
I'd go with 2-0 to Chelsea. But I can see as especially after the international break, I can see us getting a draw or something like that. But I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say 2-0 clean sheet. Great start with Potter in the league. So
Lee.
I'll say a draw for that one. I think.
I was going to say a draw as well. Go on, I'm sitting on the fence a lot here, aren't I?
Disappointing.
Fulham, Newcastle. What are we saying?
Newcastle. I don't know because Fulham have been playing quite well, especially at home.
Mitro.
Yeah.
Mitro now. He's going to come back and haunt them.
Newcastle, I don't think they've won since like the third game of the season. Or
they've been hit and miss, haven't they?
Yeah, they haven't won in 5. They can draw a lot.
I'll go for a draw.
But I'll give it Fulham. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Fulham.
I'll go with a draw.
Liverpool, Brighton. Oh, that's a big game. Brighton are in 4th as well, but it's at Anfield. So what are we saying?
I think Liverpool have got to come back a bit better than they've been playing, so I'd go with a Liverpool win, 3 or 4.
I mean, it depends on injuries and their midfield. If they've got a few key players back in their midfield, I'll go Liverpool. If they haven't, I'll go draw. I'm
going shock for Brighton. Shock win for Brighton.
They're no gaffer.
Oh, yeah, they ain't got Potter.
That is true. That sort of makes me think maybe it will be
Liverpool.
Liverpool or draw. But I mean, obviously, I'd like Brighton to win.
Southampton, Everton. What are we saying?
Southampton, probably. Everton have been not very good this season. Poor.
Neil Mopé to get a hat trick. Heard it here first. Everton 3-0 win.
I think I'll edge Everton to win it.
5:30 kickoff on Saturday. West Ham v Wolverhampton Wanderers. Draw.
Neither of them been very good, have they? No. So drawing all over it, I think.
Bit of a boring game to have. Not going to lie, as the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. But probably a draw.
Yeah. Obviously, we discussed the Manchester derby. Lee went for a draw. Me and Darius went for City wins. Leeds and Villa. It's a bit of an anticlimactic game, isn't it? After the Manchester derby, you got Leeds v Aston Villa.
They should have had Leeds Villa before.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I don't know why they've done it like that, but I can see Leeds getting a winner. I can see
Yeah,
Leeds.
it's at Ellen Road, and yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. Leeds win, I think.
And arguably, potentially the biggest game of the weekend.
Yeah, no, it is. I think
Leicester City v Nottingham Forest.
great game.
Another derby weekend.
Yeah,
This is the podcast. Get the Leonardo DiCaprio fucking meme going. Point and going. He said, yeah, what we're saying, Leicester or Nottingham Forest.
Well, Leicester are rubbish, aren't they? But I don't like Nottingham Forest. So draw, we'll say. Draw with a few cards, I think.
See, my heart says Leicester, but then my head says they've got fucking Danny Ward in goal, and he's basically fucking spaghetti on legs, and I'm going for Nottingham Forest.
Ooh. I mean, I am from Leicester.
I'm from Leicester.
Shut up. It's not that northern. No, I'm going to go for a Leicester win. I think it is at the King Power.
Danny Ward. Man.
No, I understand, but I think if there's ever going to be a game that Leicester needs something to maybe pick up their season, they have got quality players. You know, we know that. It will be against Forest. That will be a real sort of. I think it'll be a good game, scrappy affair. But I think Leicester will come out on top.
Very nice indeed. Right, I think that's a good place to end it, lads. It's been an enjoyable one. Thanks for listening to Goalpost Podcast, episode number 2, Derby Weekend.